nurses have had a 14% pay cut over the last 7 years. How much, if you get rid of this pay rise cap of 1%, how much would you increase it by? 1%, 2%, 3%, up to 14%?
Well, that's why we're asking for an independent pay review body, because I think people are fed up of politicians on the NHS making promises that nobody believes.
Well, they're fed up
that's
making
not the way I approach
promises
things.
before you've done the calculations.
No. If I may say so, I'm not like Jeremy Hunt, the Health Secretary, making promises on behalf of the NHS, but then not giving the NHS the tools and the resources to deliver it. I want an independent body, the pay review body, to look at the data, to do the analysis, to do the research and make a recommendation.
But when they come back with that recommendation, when they come back with that recommendation of whatever that pay rise will be, how are you going to fund it? Where's the money coming from? You mentioned there a figure of, say, £1 billion. How are you going to come up with that money? Where's it going to come from?
Because we will make a different set of tax policies on corporation tax. We will reverse some of these very big cuts to corporation tax that this government has introduced. When you add up all the changes to corporation tax, the government has given away something like 70 billion over the previous few years. So let's not fall for this line that there's no money for the NHS. Government is about making choices. This government has chosen not to give the NHS the resources it needs, which is why we're seeing the NHS getting worse and worse. We will make a different set of choices and give the NHS what it needs. And today is the first stage of our long-term plan for the NHS. Today we are saying how we will invest in staffing, but in the coming days and weeks we will outline our other plans for how we will invest in the NHS and ensure that British patients get the very best quality of care.
OK, the problem people at home may have is that you're making all these promises without any costing, so we don't know if it's all going to add up. You're saying that you're waiting for a recommendation on how much of a percentage to give staff a pay rise by, and then you've got to come up with the money for that. You don't know how much you're going to raise from corporation tax. So essentially it is all promises without the maths being done. You may not be able to go through with these promises if the maths don't add up after the election.
No, we think we can raise the money from reversing some of these cuts to big corporations. A 1% increase, for example, in corporation tax, we believe will be able to fund a reasonable increase in pay for NHS staff. So, look, but I think it's important that we allow the independent pay review bodies to make considered recommendations on pay. I don't want to make false promises. I don't think people agree or have any confidence when politicians make false promises. It's important that the experts make their independent recommendation.